Hello everybody, this is Ghost Hunter 385. I'm back with more StarCraft 2 and commentary and discussion for everybody. Oh, Tychus. Too busy making love to that bottle of whiskey. Yeah. Something monstrous to observe. Sheesh. When you think about it, that hybrid situation is just terrifying when you really think about it. I mean, think about it for a minute. You have two very powerful in their own way, alien races, terrifying in their own way. Yeesh. But anyway, folks, I need to bring up something that I don't think I've brought up since my first video, and I apologize in advance for this. But if you have any topics you want me to cover, please put them in the comments down below. If you have any constructive criticism, put them down below. If you just want to troll, go ahead and troll. I don't hold it personally because that's just how some people get their kicks. I'm not gonna judge you for it, because people gotta be entertained somehow, and if you have to entertain yourself, go ahead. Just be pleasant about it, please. And there's an act of tyranny, shutting down the news because it's not showing you in a good light. There's tyranny for you, if I ever did see an example. Sell the samples. Done. Okay, done. Already sold. We're good. Armory. Let's see. Swan. You don't want to know. It's not actually Manx literally playing God. It's more like Dr. Nalrud convincing him that he's playing God, more or less. Because Nalrud is Dorad from the first game, well, from the expansion set anyway. But that's another topic to cover. Let's see, no, I don't need anything. Let's see, here we are, bridge, let's go. Sigma Quadrant, let's go. And oh, good. Why would the Zelnaga need a ship considering their size? Oh, that's a question for Legacy of the Void, I guess, because we're not going to see anything here. Rip-filled generators, that molecular level. Yeah, that's scary. New Minotaur-class battlecruisers. Wow. You need a ship that big with a crew to sit there and actually survive that kind of rip field. Is it a rip field or a gravity field? Kind of wondering if there's a difference.
I didn't sign up for no suicide mission.
Take the money and run. Go on, take the money and run. I lost 9 years in prison on account of you. Ain't losing what's left of my life just so you can... Ooh, now that's a low blow. I mean, that is low, all things considering Tychus there. I mean, you know, saving his little princess. Ouch. That is a pretty low blow for Tychus. Referring to Sarah as a princess when she's kind of the furthest thing from a princess when you really think about it. I mean, think about it for a minute. She's a red-headed, psychically powered human who, at the worst of times, ended up getting... Oh, what's the word I'm looking for here? Well, they use the term infested, but I don't know if that's the right term here. Because to be infested means the Zerg virus. And, well, in the heart of the swarm, you find out that the Zerg Abathur wrapped Sarah Kerrigan in the chrysalis. And, you know, you have to kind of sit here and question ever so slightly that, you know, is she truly infested in the way that you see Terrans in this game are? because it's done by a virus. But for Sarah Kerrigan, she was wrapped and bound in a cocoon. Well, cocoon, chrysalis, however you want to phrase it. But in any case, let's get in today's topic, shall we, folks? Today's topic is criticism. Now, some people might say, what do you mean? You can't just sit there and say we're going to have a commentary discussion about criticism. And that is correct. I'm not sitting here talking about the concept of criticism. What I'm going to sit here and say is that we need more criticism of everybody. Now, some people might sit there and say, oh, criticism? Well, you can't criticize me. You don't know what my life is like. Okay, let's get this out off the bat. If you say you are not allowed to be criticized because of your race, faith, ethnicity, gender, sex, however you want to describe that, and you say you are immune to criticism, I've got news for you. That is one of the biggest violations, in my opinion, of the freedom of speech and freedom of thought. Because there's no way that you're going to convince a lot of people to not keep their private thoughts to themselves, for one. Two, if you cannot handle criticism or people disagreeing with you and criticizing your point, you have a lot more problems with your life than just worrying about people criticizing your hair, your looks, or what you believe. Because there'll always be people out there who will challenge you. Ghost Hunter 385. No one would dare challenge me. Oh yeah? Why is that? Because I'm black and white people don't know anything about being black. So let me get this straight. Because what's the best way I could say this? Your ethnicity has issues with law enforcement because of how your ethnicity chooses to act means that others can't criticize you. Let me put this to you straight. You are allowed to think what you want. I am allowed to think what I want. I'm also allowed to tell you to go stick it where the sun don't shine. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I am allowed to think and believe for myself. If you have to have somebody do that for you, I hate to break this to you, but you are weak. How dare you? You can't say that. Yes, I can. Because only people who are weak, people who don't believe in themselves, people who do not believe that what they can stand for something without having to be a woman, gay, transgender, or any variation of the sort. Now, some people might sit there and say, oh, you're being an ally. And the answer to that is a big, fat no. I'm not anybody's ally. I'm on the side of freedom of speech. And I always will be. Now, some people might sit here and say, oh, you support freedom of speech. You support hate speech. No, I support the speech that people can say whatever the heck they want. And if they use that speech to spread their own prejudices around, that's on them. They want to cry about, oh, everybody hates me because I said this thing about a Jewish person, a gay person, a trans person. That's their problem, not mine. They want to make themselves hated. That's their doing. And they can figure it out for themselves. But anyway, let's kick into some context here, shall we, folks? Now, when I say let's talk about criticism, I am saying let's actually criticize properly here. Now, some people might say, what do you mean criticize properly? You're just saying you can have criticism with freedom of speech. Yes, but there's a difference between troll being a troll and actually criticizing. Well, constructive criticism here. Let's get this straight. So, just as an example here, where should we start? Let's start here with the black community. You can't talk about black people. You're not black. Well, I hate to break this to you folks, but I don't particularly care what ethnicity you are. I'm not going to reveal my ethnicity because there's no point to this. There might be those who disagree, but I don't really care. Let's start with the black people. Now, some people might say, how can you criticize black people when you may not be black? Again, don't care. Let's start this off with being fair. I know of plenty of good black people out there who have their own issues, if you want to phrase it out there. Now, let me make this very blunt. The black community's problems have been brought upon themselves. You can't say that! How dare you? Oh, really? Really? You're going to sit here and say that the black community hasn't done a big chunk of what's going on in the black community as themselves? They haven't brought this upon themselves? Yeah, they haven't. Okay, let's see. A lot of black men choose the I'm a gangster and thug life because, why again? Oh yeah, according to a lot of social studies research is that, if I truly need to dig up, I will, who is the best authority figure in the house? You can't say what you're going to say. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Fathers tend to be the ones who keep things in check. And how many black women choose to be a single unwed mother? Last time I heard any stats, it was somewhere in the 80% range. And why is that? Because a lot of black women and black girls are taught that you don't need no man in your life. And then this is where I'm going to quote Chris Rock. Oh, you don't need no man in your life. You don't need this. You don't need that. Doesn't make it a great beeping idea. Straight from a Chris Rock special. But anyway, just because something sounds good, makes you feel good, doesn't mean it is good, folks. Let's leave that there. Now, no, some people might sit there and... Now, there might be some women who sit there and say, oh, I tried to get my baby daddy involved and he just took off. He said he didn't want to be a dad. So, you knowingly picked a man who would come and hook up with you, but then as soon as, oh, baby, I'm carrying your baby. If that's actually what happened here, and he's like, nope, and ghosts in a cloud of tire smoke, kush smoke, whichever you may choose to sit here and say, and he leaves you with the kid, you sit here and scratch your head, like, were there warning? This gives me pause. Well, let me rephrase this. This gives me pause for a second. It's like, wait. Hold up there, sweetheart. Let me get this straight. You knowingly picked the thug, the hood rat, whichever phrase that people choose to use here. You knowingly dated or hooked up with this person knowing that there was a very, very likely, heavily odded chance that as soon as he got into your underwear, your panties, and went down to town, that he would disappear because you're just another notch on his belt. You're telling me that women who are superior in knowing how men work emotionally, how to drive men crazy, how to drive men wild, and know exactly what men think, actually don't understand men? I'm sitting here going, I'm just envisioning in my head that forever loading screen where you just see the dots, or it's just dot 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 dot, and it's like, maybe women don't know men as well as they think they do. You can't say that. Actually, I think that's a fair assessment because, gee, how is it that these women who claim to know the ins and outs of men, yet they can't tell the difference between a guy who's just going to hook up with them and leave once he's done doing his business, and basically using her the same way a man would use a doll, if you will, here. So, there's a criticism of women, but let's get back on to the topic I was talking about before I went off on my tangent here. How is it that these strong, independent black women can raise children, but these children are not, quote-unquote, well adjusted to a degree? Because all of the boys, they want to be Thug Mac Daddy, Gangsta Mac, who's tearing it up in the hood, while all their daughters are either 304 phase, honey, let's go, or they're, I'm so strong and independent, I don't need no man to tell me, I don't need no man to help me raise this baby, I'll do it by myself, I don't need no useless man. Okay, so how is it that a culture that is best described as trying to raise its children right, a culture that prides itself on its strength, yet it's this black culture is barely, oh well, I'll just forget those resources for now. I might get them later. But this culture that can raise people who sit there and say, yes, queen, I'm strong and empowered, and I'm going through my 304 phase, strong queen, girl power, go, and Gangsta Mac, thud son, I'm gonna hit it like Snoop, and when I make it big, just like the big dog, all my money is going to my mama. How is it that these people, how is it that black people can sit here and talk a big game, yet they can't even properly raise their own children to be functioning in what we would consider modern American society? Ghost Hunter, you can't say that. Yes, I can. Because, guess what? A majority of the people in prison are black. I don't think that's okay. Oh, it's because of racism. Again, ... How can it just be the excuse of racism that lands black men, black teenage boys who turn 18, yet they'll run off to be Gangsta Mac strong thug son? Yet, folks, here we go, they preach strength. Because that's the craziest thing about the black community. The black community, because of slavery in the South that was practiced, it was practiced in the Americas, then later the North stopped practicing and then eventually got rid of slavery. How is it that these people who preach strength from their from what happened to the Africans that came to this country, who came as slaves from Africa. Not all of them were captured by pirates trafficking illegal slaves. Mind you here, folks. But they sat here and preached these values of strength, yet they're not all that strong. You can't say that about black people. Again, let me reiterate this. If you cannot raise children to function in society without having to lie, cheat, steal, assault, rob, how is this winning? Can I ask you this legitimately? How is this winning in any form of modern society? You might be winning in more than likely in a third world country where the warlord has all the power. Sure, I'll buy that. I'll buy that right away. But in modern society, you're not winning. You're losing. And not only are you losing, you keep setting up the next generation of your ethnicity for failure. You can't say that. I just did. And guess what? It's truth. That if black people don't set themselves straight, they're going to end up constantly being these people who are going to be feared and hated when there's no need for it. And, that's just that's just criticism there. I have met black people who are some of the strongest people I have ever heard of. I knew a man whose family was in Rwanda when the genocide happened. Granted, he wasn't anywhere near the capital of Rwanda when it happened, but he lived in a border town, and as soon as it happened, before they reached the violence, they fled. What kind of strength does that take to leave your home behind, pack your essentials? Black people are some of the strongest people I know of. Thank you very much. Now, from here, you just insulted black people. Insulted every black person on the planet. I said African American. I didn't say African. Thank you very much. Now, am I of criticism for other people, other ethnicities? You bet your butt I do. For white people, there are a bit too many white people who, in my opinion, are afraid of change. They want things to stay static. You can't just keep everything static, in my opinion. All that's going to happen with that is, if things stop changing, is that societies that aren't dynamic, are static, guess what? They die. Just imagine my finger going across my throat here, folks. They die. Change has to come, whether we like it or not. It will come. And whether that's in your culture is destroyed or your ethnicity is destroyed, change comes. And the only thing you can do is either roll with the change or make the change work for you. That's my criticism towards Caucasian people. Oh, you can criticize Caucasian people, you can criticize white people all you want. Don't really care. Then from here, what about Mexicana, Latino? Well, my best criticism for Latinos is, you know what? Embrace your tradition, which is a good thing. Embrace your heritage. Sweet home Alabama. Anyway, does it say Leonard Skinner on it? I wonder if it did. But anyway, from there, as for a good criticism of Latinos, the best way I'm going to be nice about this is stick to your tradition, but don't sit there and pretend that everybody else is stupid. What do I mean by that? Have you ever had the Wedo treatment? Where you sit there and everyone is obviously speaking Spanish, and it's obvious when you sit there and hear gringo, Hueto. Idiota, hueto. Guess what? It doesn't take a genius to figure out when you're talking about a Caucasian person, especially when you use those types of slurs. They're not slurs. If you don't know the origin, I suggest you look up the origin of gringo and tell me it's not at least partially racially motivated. As for when it comes to criticism of religious people, Christians, let's just go with the Southern Baptist Christians. Stop being actual legitimate racist towards people. It's not going to work out in your favor after all. Tychus, you're playing. Tychus. You're not going to like how this ends for you, dude. But from there, Southern Baptists are the easiest example. Stop being racist. How dare you? We're not all racist. I don't say all of you were. But it is well known that when black folks get uppity, Southern white people tend to take that not offensively, but they tend to try and squash it. Just like an ant in the palm of your hand. As for Jewish people, stop being afraid of Christians. I can understand Muslims, but don't be afraid of Christians. Don't hide who you are. And more importantly, don't hide what you have to a degree. If you choose to live modestly, I got no problems with that. But don't sit here and pretend you're broke when you're not. Be willing to help those who you can. Now, I can already hear some people saying, how dare you criticize somebody who's Jewish? Do you know what they've gone through? Yeah. Have you ever tried being a Mormon and then you sit there and get you have 5 wives routine? Because there are places out in the United States where if you're a Latter-day Saint or the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saint, there are still places where they ask you, do you have 5 wives? Trust me, religion has its ups and downs. And if you can't be a part of your community and you're Jewish and you only choose to be within the Jewish community, let me put it to you this way. Your neighbors will eventually hold it against you when you don't participate in the community and you're going to claim that they're anti-Semitic. There's a very big line between anti-Semitism and someone who doesn't like you because you chose to not help the community with something. Let's be fair here, because there's a very big difference. Now, I'm just going to sit here and say criticism is fair for everybody. I could sit here and criticize politicians. I could sit here and criticize politics. I could do it all day long. But in the end, the change needs to come from elsewhere. But again, if you like my content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, bang the bell. I'll see you guys in the next video, and don't forget, if you have a topic you want me to cover, drop it in the comments down below. Thank you very much, and have a good day.